How's it going, YouTube, Facebook, and Tumblr fans? I am Midnight Strike 3625 here to welcome you back to another classic review. So, right off the bat, I know the classic reviews have been a little bit thin this year. We're already 7 months in, and I think I've only done like 3 other ones. So, that is about to change. I'm going to be trying to revamp my classic review section, do some underground stuff, some well-received stuff, not so well-received stuff. Typically in my classic review section, I noticed I have been doing mainly things that have been either critically acclaimed or at least well received in that aspect. I have, sometimes thrown some curveballs in there with Pac-Man for the Atari 2600, but for the most part it has remained things that are critically acclaimed or at least received well. That is probably going to change. I'm going to do some stuff that not a lot of people have heard about, but for now we are going to be sticking with the critically acclaimed Jak and Daxter for the PlayStation 2. It's a PlayStation 2 exclusive, and the HD collection was released for PS3, so it's a PlayStation game through and through thick and thin, and one of the better ones. So, a little bit of background information on this review. I have been meaning to review this since January, but due to the complications of me losing my job and other things, various things in life getting in the way, I haven't been able to find the time to do it. So, I'm here to rectify that right now by giving you the best possible review that I can. So, first off, Jak and Daxter. Throw it in my lap, why don't I? Jak and Daxter, Precursor Legacy. What can I say about this game that hasn't already been said? It's excellent. The level design is superb. A little repetitive on the Power Cell collection. Basically, it's been described as a collectathon, but really when you're playing the game, it does not seem that way. Just because of all the platforming elements and the level design is just so fluid that you really don't notice that you're collecting a power cell. It's just kind of another collectible that you catch along the way. The main attraction is the level design and the enemy design. The enemies in this game are known as lurkers, and the two protagonists, Jak and Daxter, obviously, hence the title, catch themselves in the middle of a war against Dark Eco, a substance that can destroy the entire world in this game. And in other games it gives you cool powers like Dark Jak. But we're not going to talk about Jak 2 and Jak 3 because they are completely different from this story. This is a very unique game because a lot of the elements in this game were never seen again. Replaced with platforming and gunplay to mimic the Ratchet and Clank series. That is something I'm not too proud of. I like the open world a little better in the other games, but we're not going to go there. Like I said, the open world in this game is just fine. The only thing I like better in the other games is that you get a map, but the map doesn't really come in handy that much anyways. There are some times where I wish you would get a map in Jak and Daxter The Precursor Legacy. They would, however, rectify that in Jak 2, but in this game definitely has the platforming elements down. The camera angle is just right where it needs to be. The only complaint that I would have on this game is sometimes the controls just seem a little stiff, especially when you're double jumping. I mean, you have to hit X at the right time, just the right time, in order to get him to do the double jump. Otherwise, he's just going to freeze up, and he's just going to jump once. So I don't know if that's just a glitch or a gameplay mechanic or something, but it doesn't really work very well, especially in the heat of the moment, when the entire platforming concept is about jumping to the next destination. But then again, it doesn't really come, into effect very much in this game. Hence, you don't really notice the glitch. As long as you master the timing, it doesn't really matter. I suppose maybe it's just another gameplay challenge, but they would later rectify that in future games, in future titles. But as we are talking about the Precursor Legacy, another thing that is just amazing about this game is the graphics. The graphics for an early PS2 game are really good. Really colorful, really cartoony. Reminds me of playing Crash Bandicoot. It has all the unique and childish appeal that Crash Bandicoot and Sly Cooper and all those games that came out during this time period had. And it just reminds me of playing those games as a kid, especially playing it, 2013, 2014, trying to beat it. But this is a really good game. The only difference is the mechanics of collecting the power cells to get to the next destination, because as I said, Jak and Daxter find themselves in the middle of a war against someone who wants to use Dark Ego to destroy the world. So, basically, it begins with them traveling to Misty Island, and they catch themselves against the people who want to destroy the world with Dark Eco. They are talking to the villains known as Lurkers, and they kind of, eavesdrop in on their conversation a little bit, and they want to destroy the world. So, what do? They just sit there and listen to the conversation, until, of course, a lurker, a big lurker, comes up from behind them and catches them in the act. So, what do? They try to fight him off. Jak pushes the big lurker into a barrel of dark eco, but it causes an explosion and it causes Daxter to fall in. So he changes into what is known in the game as an ossel, basically a hybrid of an otter and a weasel. So the entire game is basically about changing Daxter back, which is ironic because obviously due to the sequels, I think I have it right here, look at the cover, he doesn't change back. So the entire game, you're trying to change Daxter back, or find the people who can change Daxter back. No spoilers here, I'm not going to say anything else about the plot, because there is a very big spoiler towards the midsection of the game. But he never gets changed back. So I'll just say that right off the bat. I suppose that could be a spoiler, but if you look at the sequels, even the cover of the sequels, you would know. The gameplay of the sequels, you would know. But I suppose maybe if you've never played the game before, you wouldn't know. So, or any of the games. But yeah, Daxter has these really witty lines every time you die. It's really funny. It's never seen in any future games. I don't know why they took that mechanic out, but it just adds to the lighthearted nature of the game that I have come to love about it. So, awesome game, awesome gameplay mechanics. Controls are a little stiff at times. Other than that, the environments deserve praise for being very colorful, very cartoonish looking, or realistic in the realm of cartoons, and it's just a really fun game overall. There's a lot of variation. You go from a jungle to a forest to a volcano, and then out to a snowy mountain. So you're all over the place in this world, and that's one of the things that really immerses you in the story of Jak and Daxter, and how fluid each progression to the next level is. Basically, there's like it's not even like a hub world with a world map doing missions like in the future games, like in Grand Theft Auto or Saints Row or anything like that. It's just you looking for power cells, and you are on a journey. You can go ahead of the game, you can go behind. As long as you get enough power cells to progress, you can progress. If you want to go back and get other power cells, you can do just that as well. So, really good game. Really solid gameplay mechanics, awesome environments, really good levels, and just the right amount of difficulty. I'm going to give this one a 9.8 out of 10. Just shy of perfection. If not for the control issue, I would definitely probably give this a perfect 10, to be honest. I mean, it's a really good game. So, with that, thank you very much for watching. This has been my classic review of The Precursor Legacy. This is Midnight Strike 3625. Keep calm and rock on.